I step into the glass atrium of the Horizon Media Tower and immediately wish I hadn't come. Spotlights scatter silver beams across polished floors and ambition hums through the room in muted tones of respect. Adrian's hand finds the small of my back, steadying me with the subtle pressure of his palm. "Breathe," he whispers, his director's eyes scanning me with practiced precision. "We belong here." Eli tugs at his clip-on tie, his 7-year-old patience already worn thin. "Mom, this thing is strangling me." I kneel, fixing the stubborn knot with a smile. "Just for tonight, buddy. Remember our deal. Good behavior now, movie marathon later." The reception crowd shifts briefly, and my heart seizes. A familiar silhouette emerges through the chatter. The tilt of her chin, the way she leans forward when she laughs. I haven't seen that gesture in 12 years, but my body recalls it instantly. The bride pivots, champagne flute raised in a toast, and our eyes lock across the room. "Julia, my sister." The glass trembles faintly in my hand, the only visible sign of the earthquake inside me. I hadn't recognized the name Victor Hale on the invitation. I hadn't made the connection. I assumed Julia was still using our family name, Rowan. Her gasp slices through the chatter like a blade. Heads turn. The music plays on, but a vacuum of silence forms around us, stretching across the divide. Behind her, Mother's face drains of color, then burns crimson. Father moves protectively toward Julia, his broad frame shielding her, just as he's done my whole life. "What are you doing here?" Mother hisses, loud enough that curious eyes swivel our way. Father moves protectively toward Julia, his broad frame shielding her, just as he's done my whole life. "What are you doing here?" Mother hisses, loud enough that curious eyes swivel our way. The old shame flickers in my throat, a memory of standing with a suitcase in the rain, exiled at 21. Adrian steps forward, voice firm yet measured. "My wife is a guest. She's the CEO of Vantage Media. We were invited by the groom." The name ripples outward through nearby executives. I hear whispers, see recognition spark in their eyes. "CEO." A woman in emerald silk leans to her companion. "That's Alexis Rowan." Rain soaks my memory as Father's words echo, "If you won't grind for this agency, don't come back." The slam of the office door punctuates his decree, final as a gavel. Now I stand unbowed in Armani. The rain a distant ghost. The fragile girl is gone. In her place is the woman who built an empire from nothing. Victor Hale approaches, confusion etching lines across his brow. His eyes dart between Julia's frozen face and my steady one. "You know the CEO of Vantage Media?" He asks my parents, then turns to me with growing intrigue. "We've been trying to pitch them for months. Your campaign analytics are changing global advertising models." Julia attempts a smile, brittle at the edges. Mother and father trade glances heavy with panic. Whispers grow, sharper, insistent. I could detonate the truth right here, reveal 12 years of lies. How they told everyone I failed out of school, how they pocketed my trust fund to bankroll Julia's glossy ascent. The power is finally mine. Instead, I simply say, "Hello, Julia. Congratulations." The simplicity lands like thunder. Julia flinches as if I'd shouted. Adrian's hand steadies my back, a silent question. "Stay or go?" Eli tugs my sleeve, oblivious to the storm. "Mom, is that lady in the white dress your friend?" Victor's gaze sharpens. He looks between Julia and me, between his new bride and the stranger who clearly isn't. "Julia," his voice carries confusion, suspicion. "I thought you said your sister was." He stops, the unfinished truth hanging. Julia's eyes flick between him and our parents. For the first time in my life, I watch her struggle for words. "And this is my wife, Julia." Victor beams, arm draped around her waist. Stanford graduate and the brilliant strategist managing her family's agency back in Vermont. I stand 10 feet away, champagne untouched, watching Julia nod smoothly as she greets a cluster of producers. Her pearl earrings glint when she tilts her head, the same tell I knew as a child, the same one she used whenever she bent the truth. "Rowan Media has guided local brands for 3 decades, she says, her tone balanced between pride and humility. We specialize in small businesses with national potential. Adrian brushes my elbow, drawing me to a nearby conversation. A silver-haired executive studies my badge. Vantage Media, she breathes. You're Alexis Rowan. Your keynote last month was genius. That predictive ad system is rewriting the industry. For states now, I reply with a calm smile. Across the room, Julia fumbles an answer about outdated campaign trends. A creative director frowns. Didn't Stanford's program abandon that model years ago? Julia's laugh is half a pitch too high. Well, academia lingers on old frameworks sometimes. Victor's arm slips from her waist, doubt shadowing his eyes. He's starting to notice the cracks. Father barrels through the circle of guests, jaw tight, voice pitched low but edged with fury. You shouldn't be here. The words strike like an old gavel, the same verdict he handed me when I refused to stay chained to his agency. I meet his glare evenly, a calm forged in late nights and relentless deadlines. I was invited, I answer, tone clipped but steady. Adrian steps closer, his presence a quiet shield. Alexis built Vantage from the ground up. If anyone here questions her right to stand in this room, they don't know the industry at all. A murmur ripples outward. Names, figures, deals. People connecting dots they hadn't dared link before. Julia's stolen narratives, father's silences, my sudden exile 12 years ago. The puzzle rearranges in real time under the chandeliers. Victor's hand curls into a fist at his side. You knew? He mutters to Julia, though loud enough for those nearest to hear. Mother presses forward, desperate to control the story. We didn't want her chaos staining your career, she insists. Her voice quivers just enough to betray fear. Adrian squeezes my hand once. His unspoken message, hold steady. They're unraveling themselves. Victor turns, his voice carrying over the chatter that's dropped to a cautious hush. Julia, what is going on? His eyes pin her, sharp and unyielding. You told me your sister couldn't keep a job. You said she burned bridges, that she ran off chasing pipe dreams. Yet here she stands, head of the most innovative media firm in the country. Julia's lips part, but no sound escapes. The polished mask she's worn so long begins to crack, fissures spreading under the pressure of truth. Guests exchange glances. Some lean closer, hungry for drama, while others retreat, unwilling to be caught in the fallout. Mother clutches her necklace, knuckles white. Father's hand twitches, as if he could still command the room with sheer authority. But his power has thinned. Adrian remains at my side, silent but solid. Eli peers up at me, whispering, Mom, are we leaving soon? I smooth his hair, my smile gentle, controlled. Not yet, sweetheart. My calmness unnerves them more than fury ever could. Victor studies me, then Julia, realization dawning. What else have you lied about? His words hang heavy, too loud to be ignored, too true to be dismissed. Julia's laugh bursts out, brittle and jagged. Victor, don't listen, she twists everything. She always has. But the conviction isn't there. Her voice wavers, splinters under the weight of too many borrowed truths. Father steps forward, desperate to salvage control. Alexis abandoned us. She had no loyalty to family, no respect for legacy. Julia stayed, Julia worked, Julia repeated lies you fed her. I cut in, voice even, measured. A hush sweeps the crowd. I hadn't planned to speak, but the moment demands it. My words slice cleaner than rage ever could. Mother grips Julia's arm, eyes darting wildly, searching for escape. But the room has turned. Executives whisper, journalists angle for closer views, producers murmur about partnerships suddenly at risk. The glossy facade of the Rowan name phrased thread by thread. Victor's gaze hardens on Julia, his hand dropping from hers entirely. You lied to me, he says, not shouted, but with a finality that cleaves the air. Julia's face crumples, her empire of illusion collapsing in seconds. I don't gloat. I don't need to. The silence that follows crowns me louder than triumph. For the first time, I am not the outcast. I am the force they cannot ignore. I set my glass on a passing tray, its crystal ring faint against the growing murmur. My work here is done, though I never raised my voice. Power doesn't always roar, sometimes it whispers. Adrian slips his arm around me, his warmth steady, proud. Eli squeezes between us, tugging my sleeve. Can we go now, Mom? You promised movies. I smiled down at him. Yes, buddy. We've kept our promise tonight. Together we turned toward the elevator, our reflections sliding across the tower's mirrored walls. Behind us, the crowd fragments into clusters, some circling Victor with offers, others dissecting Julia's downfall in hushed tones. My parents stand frozen, faces pale, watching the daughter they cast aside step out taller than they ever imagined. I don't need their apology. I don't crave their validation. I've already built something greater, brick by brick, deal by deal, sleepless night by sleepless night. The doors slide shut, sealing the ballroom away. Eli leans against me, already dreaming of popcorn and cartoons. Adrian meets my eyes, his quiet smile mirroring mine. The empire they tried to bury me with became the foundation I rose from. And tonight, the world finally saw it. Thanks for listening my story. Please share your thoughts in comment section.